Welcome once again, everyone, to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News for your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. And I want to thank Miskatonic Books once again for sponsoring the show. Thank you so much. Miskatonicbooks.com for sponsoring the show. Miskatonicbooks.com is really your best destination for finding difficult to find occult books, difficult to find esoteric books, books that have been published outside of the US. Maybe you're based in the US and you're looking to acquire books that have been published in Europe or in the UK and trying to get them without spending huge amounts of money, sometimes even more money on the shipping than for the books themselves. And so Miskatonic Books get all those new books in, and they also get difficult to find books onto their shelves so that you can get books that maybe you missed out on because they've been out for a long time and there was just a short run on them. And so yeah, Miskatonic Books will actually have them in stock, and if they don't have them in stock, you can sign up to be notified as soon as they do get them back in stock. So really wonderful stuff. Just a little note from Miskatonic Books, actually, just to say that Typhon, which is the second book in the series that was started off by Lioness by Samuel David. So Typhon is a second book in this kind of small format, landscape format books that are just absolutely beautiful. Check out my review of Lioness. So Typhon is a second book by Harper Feist, and that's currently available for pre-order. I believe that in my video where I spoke about this already, I may have suggested that Lioness is no longer available, but it actually still is available. So if you missed out on the first book of that series, you can still actually pick it up. And this second book in the series looks really, really cool if you're interested in the Typhonian current or in Typhon in general. This is going to be very, very exciting stuff. So yeah, just head over to miskatonicbooks.com to put in your order, and yeah, you'll be able to see the standard edition for $75, and there's also like a super deluxe edition that you can pick up as well. If you just scroll down a little bit, you should be able to see, or not, or maybe just do a search. There we go. So yeah, really cool. And yes, as you can see, you can get alerts for the newsletter and for any books that you'd like to be alerted about if they get it into stock. Let's start today's news with news from Atramentus Press. In fact, a couple of bits of news from Atramentus Press. This is Terrors of the Night. Now, I'm recording this on Thursday, 18th of January 2024, and so we're still 24 hours away from these going on pre-order. However, they have made already available this contents page, and I've been talking about this one for a couple of weeks now, and we're getting more details simply, and this is really exciting. The first time I talked about it, all we really knew was the title, Terrors of the Night by Louise S. Milne. And we're now getting to see those chapters. So dreams of fear and joy among the Inuit, in the country of sleep, night travelers, myths and dreams in Renaissance Europe, mermaids and dreams in visual culture, the archaic and the modern nightmare, a storm in the head, animals, dreams and desire, the terrors of the night, charms against the nightmare, and the mythology of dreams, and the magic of dreams and nightmares, charms, spells, and numerosity. Really exciting stuff. There's not a huge amount out there that's of respectable quality on the topic of dreams and nightmares. I think that I reviewed a book by Sarah Janes as last year, which was really, really good. And I really recommend her work in general. You can go and check her out on social media. This seems to be the second book on the topic of dreams that I can really honestly say that I'm excited about. So that's really really quite cool. Other than the original Jung stuff and so on, right? So yeah, really looking forward to this. And then there's another. Well, it's still Atramentus Press, but it's not actually a post from them. It's a post from Ian C. Edwards, and he's talking about the upcoming volume of Being and Non-Being in Occult Experience. So it's a volume 4. Atramentus Press has already put out 3 of these volumes. Really, really interesting volumes. I think there was one from the point of view of Being and Non-Being, from the point of view of Aleister Crowley. There was one from the point of view of Austin Osman Spare. I'm afraid I forget the third, or maybe Spare one was the third, but oh no, there was also one from the Typhonian guy. What's his name? It's eluding me for the moment, but yeah, really good quality writing. And this 4th one is going to be from the perspective of Andrew Chumbley. Very cool stuff. And I'm just excited about it, and I guess we'll find out a little bit more about that when Atramentus Press themselves are ready to talk about it. But you can, if you've been following this Being and Non-Being in Occult Experience series, then yeah, go and check out this post by Ian C. Edwards, and yeah, see what you think. All right, let's move on to news from Los Scarabeo. So Los Scarabeo have, they're one of the biggest tarot publishers in the world, and it seems that they're going to be adding the Sola Busca tarot to their mini list, right? Their mini roster of little tarots. So I was just checking out how big a mini tarot deck would be, and I was just looking through these, and I found 20 centimeters by 12 centimeters. That's actually quite large, right? It's actually larger than a regular tarot. So I went to check out Los Scarabeo's actual website, and found their series of mini tarots, and actually no, they're rather 5 centimeters by 8 centimeters, right? So 50 millimeters by 81 millimeters. So that really is pocket size, right? 8 centimeters. That's about, yeah, something like that. And like that. So that really is like travel size, something that you can easily pop into your bag. So having the Sola Busca in that format, I think that's really exciting. It's only out on the 25th of February. But yeah, so that's in a month's time, but you can put your pre-orders in already, and I'll leave links down in the comments. Of course, they're all Amazon associate links, right? And I get a small commission if you use those links to make your purchase. Okay, and what else? Another item that came to my attention this week was Aretalogy, or Aretalogy, Lineage of a God. So this is a book that's been out for a year already, but I hadn't spotted it, and it was brought to my attention this week. Aretalogy is a novel about Alexandria, libraries, memory, and the legacy of Egypt. It's a story of Psammethicus, who encounters the mysterious library of the Ulterior within I should have prepared this in advance, shouldn't I, of Alexandria, and travels to Upper Egypt, to Hermopolis Magna, to discover destiny which includes the past and the future. It is also a story about texts, both real and imaginary, as Psa searches for the legendary Book of Thoth, which never existed, but has inspired countless pens in the Hermetic tradition down through the ages. As Psa leaves the Greek world of Alexandria for Upper Egypt, he comes closer and closer to one essential question: who was Imhotep, and how did that man become a god? Sounds interesting, right? I mean, it is fiction, but I'm guessing it's fiction that tackles some esoteric concepts and ideas. Possibly one to look into. It's available as a paperback and also as a Kindle edition. And then there's this one, the Manuscripts Club, which is actually available Kindle, audiobook, paperback, and hardcover. Yeah, if I just click on these images over here, you'll be able to get a better look of what it looks like inside. I'll read the blurb for you in a second, but I don't know if I would want this as an audiobook. Maybe the text is worth it on its own. Certainly, from the blurb, it certainly sounds like a fascinating text. Yeah, so let me give you an idea of what this is about. Second sentence, the second paragraph, I think, was the most interesting. This entrancing book describes some of the extraordinary people who have spent their lives among illuminated manuscripts over the last 1,000 years. A monk in Normandy, a prince of France, a Florentine bookseller, an English antiquary, a rabbi from Central Europe, a French priest, a keeper at the British Museum, a Greek forger, a German polymath, a British connoisseur, and the woman who created the most spectacular library in America, all of them members of what Christopher de Hamel calls the Manuscripts Club. This exhilarating fraternity and the fellow enthusiasts who come with it throw new light on how manuscripts have survived and been used by very different kinds of people in many different circumstances. Christopher de Hamel as unexpected connections and discoveries reveal a passion that crosses the boundaries of time. We understand the manuscripts themselves better by knowing who their keepers and companions have been. Sounds really exciting, right? Yeah, so maybe an audiobook may make sense, but I would imagine that having those beautiful big facsimiles, those beautiful big reproductions of the pages of those beautiful manuscripts alongside the text may make a difference. I would have imagined so anyway. It's just nice to see that it's available both as hardcover and as a paperback for people with different financial means. And that came out just a couple of months ago, so mid-November 2023. Okay, and then there's this series of British Library hardback classics. Now, a couple of weeks back, I pointed you guys to the Celtic Weird, right? Maybe some of you remember this, Tales of Wicked Folklore and Dark Mythology. And I said I had no idea that the British Library was publishing pretty books like this. What I also didn't know is that it's an entire series. Check this out. So this is Fearsome Fairies, Haunting Tales of the Fae, which, yeah, I spotted this somewhere and I went to see it and I was like, oh, wait, it's the British Library. Like that Celtic book, right? And then I scrolled down. So this was published a couple of years ago already. I had no idea, which is a shame, right? And I scrolled down a little bit and look, there's this entire series. Gothic Tales by Sheridan Le Fanu, Whispers and Other Stories, Lifetime of the Supernatural, Ghost Stories by M.R. James, Playing with Fire, Arthur Conan Doyle, Visions of the Vampire, 2 Centuries of Immortal Tales, or whatever it was, The Telltale Heart, and by Edgar Allan Poe, and so on, right? So it's an entire series of these really beautiful hardback books. So it looks like the material that they're made of is not fabric. It does look like hemitlin with just like a metallic stamp on them, but don't they look lovely? Don't they look beautiful? I'm all over these, and they're affordable as well. I think it's £13. That's probably around the $17-18 mark. I think that's really cool. Very, very cool. I'll leave links in the description, of course. Okay, StaarCon is happening this weekend. I imagine that probably by the time some of you are watching this show, I expect it'll probably have started, but I'm letting you know anyway, just because some of you watching may still have a chance to register if you're interested. This is happening in Florida, but it's also online, and it's a conference for divination specialists. And what really caught my attention here is that both Benabel Wen and T. Susan Chang are going to be presenting. Very, very exciting stuff. I don't know Emily Muniz, but she is clearly headlining alongside Benabel. And there are some, as I say, some other specialists who are being involved as well. You can book your tickets. Of course, if you're based in Florida, then you probably already know about it. If you don't, then I hope it's not too late by the time you see this little segment here. But wherever you are in the world, you can buy tickets to the to the virtual version, the Accel events event portal. There we go, and then you can book tickets to actually go there yourself, or to attend the virtual online version, like streamed version. Good stuff. And then there's this ring which I found. Folks, I don't have my books with me, and it's killing me. What grimoire does this come from? So this ring, which is available in various materials, and here's the gold version, right? The full £1,900 version. It's engraved with allegedly the inscription that was on the crown of Solomon. But as much as these characters seem very familiar, I can't work out which grimoire they appear in. Can any of you help down in the comments? I'd be very grateful. Been trying to research this, been trying to find an answer online, and I for the life of me, I can't. I found some similar looking stuff around the Seal of Solomon from the Ars Goetia, but yeah, anyway, if any of you recognize this, you go like, oh, obviously this is from, I don't know, Sword of Moses, which I don't actually know, which I don't have, or whatever else, right? Whatever you actually know what these symbols, where these symbols originate, where they come from. Yeah, I'd be very grateful if you could let me know. They look reasonable for the kind of aesthetic that's found in many of the Solomonic grimoires, so I'm thinking this might not be just an invented thing. Yeah, let me know if you know anything. I'd be really grateful. Okay, and you can see that it's available. This ring is available on Etsy for from witchcraftprague.com, and there are lots of different sizes that you can get, and lots of different materials as well. You can just get it as copper with a gold plating, presumably. For a very different price from the 18 karat gold version for the full £2,000 there. But silver and 18 karat gold seems like a reasonable choice, possibly. It's it's not cheap, but it's certainly much less expensive than the solid gold one. Anyway, I think it's really beautiful. Regardless of its origins, I would just love to know its origins. Okay, news from this Kickstarter. So it's an illustrated edition of Beowulf, an illustrated edition of the Anglo-Saxon epic tale Beowulf in Old English and modern English translation. This caught my attention. The author, Joel Trumbo, has been working on this for decades, I think. Yeah, so he says he was 12 years old when he saw some Celtic designs and decided that that's what he wanted to achieve. He wanted to start doing that, and so he started working on some designs, and then he decided that he wanted to make a fully illuminated Beowulf, and this seems to be the outcome. This seems to be so this is obviously inspiration, right, from the Book of Kells, and yeah, you can see a little bit of his process here. It looks very painstaking. It looks very, very careful. You know, it looks like it just fills me with gratitude and optimism for the human spirit. You know, seeing things like this being made. It's really, really nice. So there's this the standard hardcover, and there's also like a deluxe hardcover, I guess. Different versions of the book available. You can also just get the mugs or whatever. It does look very beautiful, very, very beautiful. oh, I guess this is the standard hardcover, and then this is the oh, this is the deluxe edition. There we go. This is the deluxe edition. Very, very nice. Anyway, some of you may be interested in that. And then my board game of the week is Explorers of Navoria. It seems to scratch a similar itch as Lost Ruins of Arnak, which is really one of my favorite games of all time. It's worker placement, it's tableau building, and it seems to be quite a simple game to learn. Just very, very beautiful. And instead of having this kind of Indiana Jones feel to it, it's got more of a straight fantasy feel to it. You know, even though there are monsters and so on, and mythical beasts in the Arnak game, I think this one, yeah, leans a little bit more into the cute side of fantasy. It looks very pretty, and it looks like a nice game. I think that's the most important thing, isn't it? It looks like a fun game, and being quite pretty certainly doesn't help. Doesn't hurt, should I say? There we go. Yeah, very, very nice. There we go, folks. That's the news for today. I hope you found something that you enjoyed in the video. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe. If you would like to have a one-to-one conversation with me, I'm leaving links down below, of course, as always. It really helps actually at the moment. My bank account is just diminishing very, very fast with the renovations that are happening in the other flat. Every week, basically what we were expecting to be spending is kind of doubling, right? Because of unexpected things happening, right? Unexpected extra work that needs to be done. They ripped up the floors and found that all the floors were on different levels, so then they had to get them all on the right level to be able to have a uniform floor all over. And you know, so on. I mean, every day we're getting a phone call saying, sorry, it's going to be a lot more money. Anyway, so first of all, thank you to all members. I really appreciate your help, which is making all of this possible at all. And also a big thank you to all of you who are booking one-to-one conversations, because that also really makes an enormous difference to me, as you can imagine. Those chats are not cheap. Please don't consider booking a chat if you can't afford it. You know, if it would be like a big stretch for you, then please don't even think of it. But if you're finding yourself in a position of great wealth and and you'd like a chat with me, then yeah, do book a chat, and we can talk about your spiritual path, and I can read your tarot and so on and so forth. There we are. That's it from me for today. Thank you ever so much once again for watching. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye bye.